Those of you who don't know, this organization started about 25, probably going on 30 years ago, along with the Growth Association of Southwestern Illinois. We kind of joined as regional efforts, one on primarily just economic development and one on tourism and economic development initiatives. So I'm the one doing the tourism stuff, but it started out when we merged all of our little chambers together and created big chambers. So the RBGA was one, and then when Wood River merged with Alton, actually the Wood River director became my position 25, 30 years ago. I think Bob Dorr was the first president of this agency about 25 years ago. So since that time, we've done a lot, we moved along. Our mission is still one thing, it's to kind of bundle up all the attractions that we have, make them look really great, and get people to come in, throw a big net basically to get their attention and get them to come into our region and experience all the different attractions that we have. Everything from the ice arena next door to the tower down the street or the Lewis and Clark Center, up to Pierre Marquette State Park, or even out into the hills of Jerseyville or Calhoun County. So our initial service area is 2.5 counties wide. It covers the Riverbend area, which is primarily here down to Hartford, out to Bethalto, and then on around to Alton and Godfrey, and then all of Jersey County, all of Calhoun County. So it's our service area that we do. We have about 20 board directors that are members that we just had a meeting this morning that Dave referenced. They range from hospitality managers of a hotel to restaurateurs to airport directors to county board members to people just involved in the tourism industry. I could go through them all, but I won't do that. It should be in your packet in the visitor guide itself. So, what we're kind of a, people often think we're a state agency, but we're really not a state agency. We do get some state dollars, but we get a lot of local dollars, and we get a lot of even sometimes federal dollars come into our agency to work on tourism promotion or product development. So we're looking at different ways to promote the region, advertise it to everyone, or build some of the product up that we have. So we've worked in those regards, but we are one of 40 certified bureaus in the state of Illinois. So there are 40 other organizations like this one throughout the state that you go to. And we are also, we've worked hard over the past couple of years to continue to raise the bar. There's certification programs that we go through. There are about 4 other bureaus in the state of Illinois that are certified through the Destination Marketing Association certification program, and we are one of those 40. We're a smaller size bureau. We're not like the Peorias that have mega budgets, but we have a decent budget. Our budget is just under $1 million, but we do employ 5 people with that, 5 full-time people, actually 6 if we count our contract with the Lewis and Clark Confluence Tower in Hartford, and then we have about 4 or 5 part-timers that we do through some contract work. And also we run the visitor center in downtown Alton as a primary hub of activity. But we do contract with the Corps of Engineers on certain projects at the Lock and Dam and the National Great Rivers Museum. We actually have employees there to give tours when they don't have the volunteers or the backup, or if they need assistance in some of the marketing stuff, we help them with that as well. So we're kind of a growing organization. I've been there 9 years, and it's been a great ride. We've been able to expand our focus, do a lot more with the dollars we receive, increase the dollars we receive. So we've almost doubled our budget in the time that I've been there, which is significant. And we leverage our local funds to find additional either state or federal funds that we can bring down and do everything from local tourism promotion to international promotion. A few years ago we got into the international market with the state of Illinois, and we've been aggressively working with Japan, the UK, Germany, and Canada as our primary markets. Those are the markets our state's already in, and we can tell them to come into Chicago, and once they're into Chicago, see the rest of the state. Many of them travel Route 66, especially German travelers, so we like to pitch the Route 66 detour and have them come to the Great Rivers Confluence region and see all the different things that we have to offer here, from the Lewis and Clark stories to Pierre Marquette State Park. So there's a nice 33-mile stretch there that is part of the National Scenic Byway program. So, in terms of an industry in this region, the 3 counties we look at, Madison, Jersey, and Calhoun counties, it's about a $412 million annual tourism expenditures. People are spending about $412 million in the tourism industry throughout those 3 counties. Continues to go up. Last year was about a 7% increase, and this year we're hoping statewide, we're looking somewhere between 10 and 13% increase in tourism expenditures. So in terms of an economic engine, tourism continues to grow. It continues to feed our communities and give us the resources we need to have better schools, have better quality of life, and have the parks and open space that we all like to have and enjoy to keep us coming here. So we've kind of adopted a mantra at the CVB over the past year. It all starts with a visit, and that's our belief that if we can get people to come to our communities and see the great things that we have in our region, they will like us that much more. And then they might consider opening a business or starting a small business or moving to the region. So along that vein, we announced this morning that in the next year, probably within the next 6 months, our websites will start to carry real estate options on there for visitors to understand what properties are for sale in our communities and what commercial development or other sorts of business opportunities there are in that vein. We're throwing a big net out there to reach people in Ohio, Indiana, St. Louis, Central Illinois, and Southern Illinois. Once we get them to the site, we want them to know what each community has to offer. So we're excited to watch how that evolves, and we'll have MLS listings on our actual website hopefully as early as this summer. So a little bit of progress, but we were approved by the Gateway Association of Realtors. So if any of you are involved with them, thank you for letting us do that. But otherwise, our staff members at the office, how many of you been to the Visitor Center before, the Alton Visitor Center? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's worth a stop. Come in and see us. I will say it's a small building, an odd-shaped building, and we are bursting at the seams down there. So we are. There are 5 full-time people that work out of that office. I'm one of them. We have a visitor center coordinator who's there to answer all the phones and greet all the visitors, and we do a ton of mailing. We approved a budget today that has a $53,000 line item for postage. So that's a significant amount of mailing that we do to people interested in the region that want to come here to travel, bring a group, bring their next association meeting, or whatever it might be down to the area. But so visitor center coordinator is another one. The sales manager, she is actually the one who works with the motor coach industry the most, and we do all of the motor coach reservations for the Lewis and Clark site in Hartford, the Tower in Hartford, and the National Great Rivers Museum. So anybody with a group of 12 or more has to go through our office. We actually physically book them for the times of the tours, the number of people, and help them with their other plans while they're in the region. So it's a lot of work and continuous, even field trips. So if it's even school field trips at this time of year have been insane. And thousands of kids go through it each year, and thousands of delegates on motor coaches go through it as well. So we monitor all that and track it, and our trends in school has kind of gone down a little bit with the field trip budgets crisis in our states and in our school districts, so we're not seeing as many school kids as we have in the past. But I think we've bottomed out, and we're starting to see it go up a little bit more and more. We also have a PR director in our office who works directly with the travel media, works with travel writers at different publications. Blogging is huge now. In fact, we're going to trade shows where we actually just interface with bloggers who write on travel information about where to take your kids or where to go for weekend couples getaway or other options like that. In addition to all of that, our PR director does a lot more marketing. We have a ton of publications in that packet I gave you, or just a sampling of the publications. I think these are the ones we physically produce. So these are the ones that our office has written the content for, edited, arranged for printing, and print and distribute those. So the PR director does a lot of writing as well in our office. And then we have a finance director to help us stay in touch with all of our grants and stay on top of all of our reporting systems and work with our auditors and make sure we're doing everything to a T. So Barbara Strack does a great job at that. And our PR director is John Cambrin. Our sales manager is Sissy McLean, and Becky Hudson is our visitor center coordinator. So that's the team that's down there. We have a tower. I mentioned the tower manager. Amy Curry is the current one down at the Lewis and Clark Confluence Tower, and she's our employee. We just help them run it and help them bring some more marketing expertise that we can lend to the Village of Hartford for that. And then we have part-timers who will help us on the weekends. We're on the Visitor Center, which is open 362 days a year, and we get about 20,000 people through the doors of the visitor center each year. We answer a ton of phone calls on the 800 line that we take, as well as the local numbers that many of you might call in on from time to time. So I don't want to talk the whole time. I think I'm almost up with time. But I want to talk about some fun stuff coming up, and I want to answer questions you guys have about what you might have heard about certain things. The amphitheater is going to be hosting the summer concert series this year. That's the portion the city sponsors of Alton. And that'll have tribute bands starting with the Jimmy Buffett one on June 14th, $5 Fridays. And they will actually, the band is coming from Key West, and they play with Jimmy Buffett from time to time. So if you're available that night, I would definitely go see Changes in Latitude. They are first time in the Midwest kind of band, so we're excited to see them on a touring rotation come through Alton. I believe it was announced yesterday that Sawyer Brown is coming to the amphitheater through another independent promoter. So we're watching that one from the sidelines and hoping that really does well, because that's starting to get the name recognition up there. As you go outside of the amphitheater and look at other things going on in Grafton, there's a lot of change every year there. The floodwaters are all gone. By this weekend, I believe everybody will be back open. Hog Pit is washing out today and moving furniture back, so I think we're all about ready to be back to normal up there. A couple of closures, but the important thing to remember when it does flood in Grafton, not everybody in Grafton closes. So the loading dock was only closed 1 week out of that entire time frame that we had the high water. So, and a lot of times the roads, you could get to Route 3 in Grafton, but you'd have to detour back behind on Powerline Road. So we, as the Visitors Bureau, we paid attention to all street closures, and we had information on our website, visitalton.com/flood, where you could day by day see the water levels in each city that we represent and understand the impact that had on travel as you went through the region. So, but in Grafton, some of the new stuff, Pier Marquette Harbor, I believe, is finally going to open this year. I don't know if the flood delayed that. I haven't heard the latest. And they have a third-party concessionaire who's going to be doing that. It's actually the Grafton Harbor. So they will be doing boat rentals out of there, and they're talking about jet ski rentals and some other things. Transient slips out of the Pier Marquette Harbor just outside of the state park there. And then there's a new parasailing company opening up in Grafton called Uncle Andy's Parasail. And actually it's an Aflac gentleman. We're talking about the big duck. So
at this table anyway.
It's at this table. So, Andy Jackson has purchased a boat from Florida, brought it up, and actually has his sails custom made, and was shooting for Memorial Day to open, but with all the floods, I think it's going to be the first or second week of June. But there is a website out there. I forget the actual one of it, but if you go to visitalton.com, you can find that information. And then I think it's $55 or $65 a night. That's my phone ringing off the hook. Don't they know I'm in a meeting? So we've got many other things going on in the region. I don't know if you have questions. Alton's still looking at their train station to watch how that is going to impact with the Amtrak. We're hopeful the station design is complementary toward tourism and helps define a place and connect us back to the rivers or the heritage of this region. And we are also optimistic that maybe we'll get a new hotel. We met the new mayor today for the first time, so we're graced us with his presence at the board meeting this morning, and we are hopeful to move forward with progress in the city of Alton and all of our communities, actually. But we are most directly impacted by Alton because they fund a good percentage of our budget and have a lot of the hotels that fund the budget to do that.